A bendy of hope on a Friday morning. Welcome to the Blue Review presented by LAX. I am Marcus Grant alongside Greg Bergman, Parker Bell, and joined live from Toronto, Matthew Moreno. Fellas, good to see you. Matthew, how are the vibes up in the six right now?
Pretty excited, obviously for obvious reasons. If you're one of the two teams, you'd probably rather be the one that's up 3-2 and needing one win out of two potential games than the team that's facing elimination tonight. But I will say it has been cool. Well, I don't want to say tempered, but I guess tempered just with it's been raining since I got here yesterday, so that maybe put a little bit of a damper on the city. But I mean, you could see with billboards and commercials and TV and stuff that they're definitely looking forward to tonight's game.
I'm sure we will get into tonight's game. Of course, game 6 from Rogers Center coming up this evening. The Dodgers needing 2 wins in the next 2 games to be back-to-back champions in the World Series. It's been a rough go the last couple of nights, so we will talk about all of that and more in just a bit. But first, as always, want to give a shout out to LAX, Los Angeles International Airport, transforming the travel experience. They're saving guests time. For more information, you can go to flylax.com/transforminglax. All right. Well, Greg, we were in the text chat yesterday. You, myself, Parker, Jeff Spiegel, and mulling over some potential lineup changes. I don't know if Dave Roberts is going to make changes, but Greg, we were making changes, and that counts for something. You came up with the idea of what would happen if Mookie Betts batted 9th, and did we come up with a lineup possibly to your satisfaction?
So I think we came up with a lineup to my satisfaction. And it's not that I want Mookie in the 9th spot. I just want to be very clear about all of that. I just think that if you're going to move him, if you're moving him from 2 to 3 doesn't do anything. If you have to move him, he should be moved. I was thinking, okay, if you're going to move him further down, which the Yankees did with A-Rod historically, so that a big time player got moved down because he wasn't playing well. But you put him in either the 6th spot or the 9 spot. And when I was thinking about it, like if you're going to move him that far, you move him to the 9 just because then you make him a secondary leadoff. There's a whole conversation with Steve Mason yesterday about whether he wanted to be, maybe he'll move him into the leadoff spot, which I think is just a horrific idea all the way around, because you need Shohei at the top of that lineup. If the lineup turns over, and they need to be getting to Shohei. But I think the lineup that we came up with that is never going to happen, because there's never a chance in the world that Dave Roberts puts Mookie in the 9th spot, actually made sense to me, especially when we put in Rojas and with Rojas and Edman in center. I know, Parker, you want your Ha-Seong Kim. I just don't see it.
This is your chance to make the case. I mean, it's do or die, right? This is your chance, Parker, to make the case for Ha-Seong Kim.
Everything on the table
in an elimination game.
Yeah, I know. I mean, the whole thing was, we're making radical changes. That was all the conversations yesterday. And I mean, Kim's the most radical outside of, if somebody else made the World Series roster. But Kim is there really to pinch run, and we all know that. We even saw it in the video. I mean, Matthew, I don't know if you were there while Dave was racing Kim, but we know he's there to pinch run. It's just the way that he approaches at-bats when his offense is at its best. Obviously, he struggled towards the end of the year, really half of the year. He only had a good start. But if his offense is to par, then his offense is the type of offense that the Dodgers need, where you're just freaking slapping shots left and right, and you're getting on base, and then he can move and manufacture runs, because, I'm a student of Maruko. Obviously, yes, I would love it, but it's just, I think at this point, it's not worth it. I'd rather go with the vet. I'm alongside with Greg and Marcus there, where I think I want Miguel Rojas. I want him with more savvy at-bats.
Well, for what it's worth, Parker, Chosun, the Korean newspaper, has been writing a series of stories about how Ha-Seong Kim can't get off the bench in favor of guys like Andy Pages, who I believe I saw yesterday that he has the lowest all-time OPS in a postseason.
Oh, good. That's
good. So of all qualified players, I don't remember what the qualification was, but Andy Pages is officially the worst, or this is the worst postseason that any individual player has had.
Right. That's 215. I see it from Mike Petriello.
Yep,
215. The next lowest was Jason Hayward with 307.
So cool.
Yeah,
I,
cool.
I mean, Matthew, what are the odds that maybe we do see Miguel Rojas get a start at second base, or at least come in and get a pinch hit at bat, just do something to try and jumpstart this lineup?
I think the odds are definitely high that Rojas is in the lineup for tonight, and I frankly was shocked that he wasn't the change for Game 5. Dave Roberts had sort of telegraphed that, saying the lineup's probably going to look different. I'm going to think there's some a couple options, this and that. And I know Alex Call, there's some benefit that somebody could make for him being in the lineup, but that move frankly surprised me, and I know it probably was born more out of, as you mentioned, Marcus, they're reluctant to put Tommy Edman in center field. I think now we're at the point where obviously the Dodgers season is on the line tonight, and if Edman needs to play center field, I think he can for even if it's just tonight, if not maybe 2 games, and then you get into obviously there's no tomorrow. So you win tonight, you figure that out, and then you pick up the pieces, as Dave Roberts likes to say. You talk with Tommy Edman on Saturday morning. If the Dodgers are fortunate enough to get there, can you play center field? Yes or no? Then you figure that out. But for tonight, needing a win to avoid, losing this World Series, I don't see a situation where Rojas can't be in the lineup. And I know that he's not, a show hit. No disrespect to Miguel Rojas, as our guy Daniel Starkin likes to say. He's not hitting like Shohei Ohtani, right? But that's not what we're expecting. The bar at this point, honestly, for the Dodgers is just, you guys mentioned it, like the type of at bats that they're having. There just needs to be a quality at bat. Put the ball in play, whether it's literally through a single or just moving a guy over.
I mean, yeah, Greg, we don't need Miguel Rojas or really anybody to. I mean, yes, it'd be great if Shohei hit like Shohei, but I would prefer that Miguel Rojas hit like, I don't know, Andres Jimenez or something at this point. The way the series is gone.
Just get on base. I still go back to what you keep saying. Just find grass, and the guy that has the best shot of just finding grass right now is Miguel Rojas, even though he hasn't really played. This whole season, he's been a guy that just got on base, hit singles. He's a professional hitter, which they love to say. It's a stupid saying, but yes, he is a professional hitter. But yeah, that's everything that he's doing. He does. I was shocked, like Matt. Why wasn't he in Game 6 or Game 5? There was no reason in my mind, especially because the call is there for lefties and you're throwing against righties. The whole thing just felt like desperation almost, because they didn't want Edman in center. He played 6 innings in that Game 3 in the second half. He played basically a full game in center field. Now, if he went to them and said, "Hey, I can't play on my ankle in center field," which I can't imagine a professional doing that right now, then I can understand it. But that's not coming out. I don't think that will ever come out. And it was a mistake. Now, that might have not changed anything, but it's just, you still should have had him out there.
I'm going to correct you on one thing, though. You said you can't imagine a professional tapping out at this point. The Blue Jays have a pitcher who once famously tapped out on the Dodgers in an elimination game. So
he deserves to get beat just for that.
It has been heard of doing it at this point. Obviously, the other part of this, Matthew, is the guy on the mound for the Dodgers tonight, and that's Yoshinobu Yamamoto, who has been excellent and beyond so far in the postseason. Obviously, back-to-back complete games for the Dodgers in the playoffs. I don't want to say that he has to go 9 innings in this one, but Matthew, it sort of feels like he has to go 9 innings in this one.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely the easiest path for the Dodgers, if you will. And it sounds strange to say just because complete games are so rare these days. Realistic expectations for him, I think, probably need to be somewhere between 6 and 7 innings, 6 1/3, 6 2/3 maybe. But yes, to your point, obviously every single out the Dodgers can squeeze out of him, they're going to need, because at this point, the bullpen, Dave Roberts' bullpen trust tree, at least publicly, results-wise, would look to be Roki Sasaki, and that's about it.
Yamamoto to Sasaki.
So, yeah, if I think tonight's game, Jeff and I discussed it on our live show last night, 7 innings of Yamamoto, 2 innings of Sasaki, like that, from a pitching standpoint, that sounds like sort of your best-case scenario if you're the Dodgers and you get a win. Then you go into Game 7 with Glasnow, Ohtani, Blake Snell, all available, different capacities, and however the Dodgers want to piece that together. But yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate because there is, Yamamoto is certainly capable of rising to the occasion. We've already seen it, but there is just so much pressure on him, both from the standpoint of the Dodgers season could be over tonight, and from the perspective of, hey, this bullpen, like it's the reason people were concerned about the bullpen has shown itself so far.
Yeah, I mean, you just haven't found anything consistent out of the bullpen. I mean, somehow that game 3 where the bullpen went how many, like 13 innings, I believe it was, something to that effect, of scoreless baseball, feels just insane at this point. But Parker, let's just game this out, right? Let's say Yamamoto comes out and he's not sharp at the beginning. Right. I mean, we saw Blake Snell give up 2 home runs on the first 3 pitches. They were down 2-0. It feels like in a scenario like that, if you are Dave Roberts, you can't afford to wait for him to figure things out. If suddenly you get in one of those multi-run Blue Jay rallies that we've seen so many times, you've got to be ready. Who's next? Is it a Sheehan? Is it a Robleski? I mean, where do you go? Potentially get some length if for whatever reason Yamamoto's just not at his best tonight.
I mean, bleep it, throw Klein's name back in there too. I mean, if you're gonna have a performance like that in the World Series, who's to say you can't do it twice? But I'd probably go Robleski first. I think that's the first name I'd call upon. That's just tough though, because we've said it just a minute ago. The trust tree, it's straight to Sasaki, and that's really it. I mean, I think that the question here today for Game 6, unfortunately, just isn't about the bullpen, and it's just all harked on the offense. I mean, the last time, Game 2 with Gausman, it was inning 1, some competitive at-bats. I think, Freeman doubled and Smith drove him in, so it was like, sweet, Dodgers got on the board first, but then 2nd through 6th inning, non-competitive at-bats. And then obviously they woke up with the home runs there in the 7th. So I think this is just a matter of, hey, if you can strike first, if you can score first, then at least you give Yamamoto that confidence to maybe avoid a first inning, sort of fumble like we've seen in the past, a Chourio home run here and there. Obviously Vladdy and Schneider the other day against Snell. But if you can score first, you never know what'll happen. Yama, I mean, at this point is just that kind of guy. If he has a lead, he's going to maintain it.
I mean, I think scoring first is important, although it's probably worth noting they've scored first, in 4 of the previous 5 games. And, here we are. But, Greg, I was thinking about this yesterday. Like, I feel like it's important for them to not just score first, but if they could somehow put up, I mean, I know we've been saying this for a long time, right? If they could put up a crooked number. But I feel like it's doubly important. One, I guess triply important, right? One, obviously, it puts you out in the lead, first of all. Second, it's potentially a shock to the system of Toronto, right? It's a way to quiet down the fans at Rogers Center because we know they're going to be super loud tonight. But more than that, Greg, I feel like the offense, the team itself sort of needs that jolt as well. Like, I know these guys have confidence going in. I know they believe in their abilities, but I do think there's a subconscious thing of just needing to see that they can do it because it feels like it's been a while since they have done it.
Yeah, if they can find a way to have a couple different innings with crooked numbers, because even every time that the Dodgers have been up, even if it's 2-0, they hit the Blue Jays hit a 2-run home run and tie the game, or they do something that gets them. It's down 4-2. They tie it up at 4. Whatever it happens to be, they always seem to come back even from those leads. So you need to have multiple of those innings, and the most important thing of all of it is to have shutdown innings afterwards. That's what got away from them. Kike Hernandez hit a home run, made it 2-1. You think you're starting to come back a little bit. And then in the next inning, Teo decides to be old school Teo and diving at a ball that turns into a triple. And then they score another run, and that one run that you got is erased immediately. So Yamamoto needs to be great. They need to put up crooked numbers multiple times and just show that they have some fight, because they did not show that they had any fight whatsoever in Game 5.
Yeah, I think the other part of this, Matthew, is just defensively. It feels in a lot of ways sort of like last year's World Series with the Dodgers playing the part of the Yankees and the Blue Jays playing the part of the Dodgers. Just even plays that aren't necessarily errors. And I'm thinking of the Mookie Betts throw to second on what should have been a double play They got one out. It's not an error, but it did force more pitches that inning. I mean, I don't know how you just wave a wand and magically get better defensively, Matt, but they've got to figure something out because the Blue Jays just take advantage of every mistake the Dodgers have made this World Series.
Yeah, it's a little ironic, maybe is the word I'll use. The Dodgers had a lot to say about the Yankees defensively after winning the World Series last year, and justifiably so. And then, even throughout this season, not just the playoffs now, but throughout this season, I feel like we saw lapses in the Dodgers defensively, and it was like, wait a minute, like this isn't how you guys have typically gone about things. And Marcus, to your point, it's not always just errors. And not even just Mookie's bad throw where they got an out. It's, allowing guys to go first to third because you're throwing to the wrong base, or allowing guys to take an extra base because you threw home and you shouldn't have done that. You should have cut. Like a lot of the little stuff that the Dodgers typically have done well, I felt like they regressed in this year, and that's now carried into the playoffs. And I am somebody who is a proponent of, I think defense matters and things of, not to the football sense where, they say defense wins you championships type thing, but we are seeing it, as you mentioned, Marcus, and especially against a Blue Jays team that's opportunistic, that makes pitchers work, that puts the ball in play with 2 outs. That extra base means so much more, not just because it's World Series, but again, because of the opponent you're playing right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think from Game 5, for instance, there are 2 plays that sort of stand out. I mean, Greg mentioned Teo misplaying a ball that turned into a triple. Well, later in that same game, you had Shohei just absolutely hit a liner to a screaming liner to right field, and Addison Barger comes in and makes a great diving catch on it, on a ball that if it gets by him, Shohei is easily standing on third base. Depending on whether there's backup behind him, maybe he's even thinking about coming all the way around. Those are the little things that sort of make a difference over the course of 7 games. And this has decidedly been in the Blue Jays' favor so far. So, again, these are things that don't necessarily show up and aren't necessarily easily fixed, but they've got to sort of find a way to fix it there. The other part of this, Parker, is, which Shohei do we get at the plate, right? Because it seems to have been either it is the greatest game we've ever seen by an individual, or he just is swinging and missing and looks fairly lost at the plate. I mean, I know which one we hope to see. Do we actually get the greatest show on earth tonight?
I mean, I do think so. I think that Shohei will show up just in the big moments, but it's the idea of, they were talking about it in post presser, the idea of being in between those competitive, like basically 0-1 count at bats, like checking down, having the mindset of building innings, extending them, working counts, or being that high slug, going for home run, living and die by home run guys. So they've been in between that all series, and that's why they've struck out so much, and they're just not finding those pitches. Whereas the Blue Jays are literally fouling off every single pitch, and they're just continuing to build at bats. Even when they get deep into counts, they're still fouling it off, and then they'll just find grass with little bloopers. So I think if Shohei approaches with that mindset where, hey, if you can just line one down third, down first, you've seen yourself leg out triples, and that allows guys to just be a little more comfortable. Mookie's a little more comfortable when he knows all he has to do is just fly one up to left and get a sac fly. So if we see that from Shohei, that'll be amazing. But I do think that the greatest show shows up today in Toronto. I'm predicting a roof scraper at Rogers Center. As the chat was saying, maybe we see a broken window in that hotel up there.
I'm old enough to remember when I think Jose Canseco put a ball off that window many, many years ago while playing with the Oakland A's. So it can be done. And if there's anybody on planet Earth who can do it, it is Shohei Ohtani for sure.
He nearly did it in batting practice. He hit one up in that Coca-Cola, whatever they call it up there, the hangout center.
Greg, what do you expect out of Kevin Gausman tonight? Because as Parker mentioned, he got into a little trouble early. He settled in and then made the mistake to Will Smith, and it all sort of unraveled on him in that 7th inning. Do the Dodgers make the necessary adjustments? We saw the Blue Jays adjust to Blake Snell and jump on him early. Do the Dodgers make the same adjustments to Kevin Gausman?
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, he has a pretty nasty splitter, so if you can sit on the fastball and actually time it right, they can get to him. They have to get to him early. They have to. If you have the chance, we talk about this every single year and all the time. you have to get him early. He needs to be going 20 plus pitches over and over and over again and getting him out as fast as possible, because then you go back into the bullpen. The bullpen's been seen a lot. He should at some point be able to tell what these guys are going to be hit. It's like seeing a batter for the third time. If they can sit on the fastball from Gosman, I think they can find a way to get it. I know it's very it's hard to figure it out. That's why he's a good pitcher, but they can get to him. I really, really hope just work the count. Like, he wants the ball outside of the zone, so work the count. I want to see first inning 2 runs and 28 to 30 pitches. Like, get that number up early.
I mean, we have seen the bullpen a lot. It just feels like we haven't seen them in a ton of high leverage situations, right? I mean, outside of game 3, when that whole game was just a high leverage situation from like the 7th inning on. I mean, even like game 1, I guess there was a little bit of it, but then the Blue Jays ended just breaking it open, so it didn't matter. Games 4 and 5, by the time the Dodgers got into the bullpen, they were down multiple runs, and there was just a comfort level there, I think, for those guys. We just haven't seen them have to come in really tense situations and have to make big pitches so far in this World Series. But as we're getting ready to wrap this up, Matthew, if there's one guy who is the key, who is the linchpin for the Dodgers pushing this thing to 7 games, who do you think it is?
I'm torn between Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman. Mookie for obvious reasons, because he is just somebody the Dodgers rely on, and they haven't, he's struggled so far. I will go Freddie Freeman, though, just because I think he's proven to be, a steady presence in the lineup before. He obviously has been in these moments. He's hitting okay at, there are times where his at-bats look really good, and other times where maybe not as great. But I'll go with Freddie Freeman. I think he needs to play a key role for the Dodgers tonight.
All right. So let's go around the horn here. Greg, will we see a Game 7 in the World Series?
Yes, we will see a Game 7 in the World Series. The guy you want on the mound in a must-win Game 6 is Yoshinobu Yamamoto. He is on the mound right now, and he is going to, every single time that he has been a big moment for Yamamoto, he has come through, and I trust in him more than any other pitcher on this staff. I think he comes through, and I think the Dodgers offense get hopefully just enough. 5 runs. They put up 5 runs, and they win this game 5-1.
All right, Matthew, will you be staying a Saturday night in Toronto?
So I have booked, like, my hotel and airfare is booked through to head home and check out Sunday. So
okay. So regardless, yes,
I am here no matter what.
Will you be working? Will you be watching a baseball game on Saturday? I guess is the better question.
I do think that I am. I do think the Dodgers force it to a Game 7. Greg was mentioning Gosman and stuff like that. They got hittable fastballs in Game 2. They just were fouling them off or weren't swinging through them. So I do think they find a way to at least force this to a Game 7.
All right, Parker, do we get a Game 7?
We do indeed. Yamamoto goes 8 2/3, and then Sasaki closes it out, but it's a high pitch count from Yamamoto, and I expect like a 5-3 win from the Dodgers, and we're going to see a home run from Freddie tonight.
All right, I'm going to make it unanimous, because what else do we have to do but believe, right? I mean, that's our only job, is to believe and have the faith. I do think we're going to see a Game 7 tonight. I think we will see maybe not a perfect game put together by the Dodgers, but I think we will see the best game that we've seen out of this group in a really long time. I think the timely hitting will show up. I think we'll get some good defensive plays, and I think we will get a quality start by Yamamoto, and maybe even a little bit of surprise out of the bullpen with some arms that maybe we didn't expect coming through. But I think we will have Game 7 of
Lucky
the World
Lasers.
Series. Lucky lasers.
Don't ruin Halloween, Dodgers.
Don't ruin Halloween. We will be back tonight, one way or another, to talk about what we see in Game 6, and fingers crossed, getting you ready for a Game 7 as well. And of course, we'll be back with you one way or another on Monday to wrap up the entirety of the World Series as well. But Matthew, enjoy Toronto. I don't know. Have some poutine. I enjoy poutine. I think it's tasty. But thanks to Matthew Moreno for jumping in. I guess I'm assuming you and Jeff, or at least Jeff, or someone is live after the game tonight?
It will be Jeff, and I believe Anthony is on with him tonight over on our Dodger Blue channel after the game.
Got it. All right. So go check that out for sure. Thanks everybody in the chat for getting up and hanging out with us. I know we are all keeping the faith together and hoping for the best. That'll do it for this edition of the Blue Review presented by LAX. Stick around, the Sedano and Cap Morning Extravaganza coming up right here on the ESPN LA YouTube channel. For Matthew Moreno, for Parker Bell, for Greg Bergman, I am Marcus Grant. We will see you tonight. Go Dodgers.
Go Dodgers. Let's get a good game 7.
Hi, I'm Yasser Puy, and you're watching